Welcome to the program, Keilani Rose.
Thank you. Hi. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for coming on. You might have just heard at the beginning there that we're both big fans of Shoresy. We've been loving the series and have nothing but great things to say about it. And we really dig all the characters on the show and the way they interact. And of course, the two sisters, Miguan and Ziguan, they have a very special place in our heart.
Oh, that's
we we love tough talking, chirping women. That's what we do.
we definitely give the boys a run for their money. That's for sure.
Bro, definitely. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, no, you totally do. And it's nice to see. I've talked about this before, but on this show, one of the things I really appreciate about it and really like about it is the ability for the show to show not only strong women in positions that aren't typical in other shows like that would be dealing with, say, the hockey, which is usually a male dominated sport, but also a positive outlook on indigenous people in the community. And and it's one of the things I think the show, at least I think, does reasonably well, and that's a credit to you guys, everybody who's in the cast, doing the good work.
Thank you. Yeah, it was really wonderful to be part of something that they were really, just dedicating a lot of energy and effort in towards representation. I think we do as a community have a long way to go. I can see outside still a lot of people waving Canada flags today, which is really hurtful because there's no pride in genocide. But being a part of this cast and being a part of this production and seeing them really, really do their best from like top to bottom, where we had, indigenous nail artists, we had indigenous wardrobe, we had all like this beading, like all of these things we built in Ojibwe for some of the characters. Yeah, it was really wonderful to celebrate that for sure.
Yeah, no, and the ensemble cast working together is great. And what I really enjoy is the chemistry that you and Harlan have is really, really good. Yet you guys never have a scene where it's just the two of you. It's always like there's 6 people in a scene. And it's like, oh, but Harlan and Miguan, there's a connection there.
I'm excited to see what they do with that if we get a season 2.
Yeah, definitely. Because it seems very much like to me that it's like Sanguinette is interested, Miguan's interested, but Ziguan is having none of that. That she's trying to be protective of her sister there.
She's like, no, absolutely not. Same with Nat. She's like, do not fuck that slut. Am I allowed to say that?
You can say that. You can fuck as many sluts as you want on this show. There you go.
Yes. Yeah. And it's great because, Harlan is a sweetheart in real life. We definitely hit it off and became friends and had some solid adventures out in Sudbury.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Is the Sudbury nightlife enjoyable during that? Like, it's the dead of winter when you guys were shooting it. Was it still alive?
I mean, definitely a lot of hibernation. I think what we found most was enjoying the days off, like out in nature. We found some really cool trails. One was called Kiwi Park. Just nice. Like magical because it was snow-kissed and the trees were just, I don't know, wintertime.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Are you an outdoorsy person? You like to go like, and enjoy nature, as it were?
Definitely. I feel like it's such a source of replenishment for me. I also find wherever I am, especially when I'm working, but no matter where I am and what I'm doing, it's very grounding for me to connect with the lands and the people of the lands. So the host nation that we were working with and that land, whose land we were working on, was the Anishinaabe. And so, yeah, just taking that moment to acknowledge that and the care that they've had for those lands since time immemorial, and hopefully the work that we did there, the stories that we told, the representation that we showed can honor these people.
No, definitely. I believe again, like as you mentioned, the care that Jared and the team put into representing everybody there, it's definitely something to be proud of. Totally.
And let's just say, I love the 3 Jims, man. I love them so
much.
Oh
my God, Jim, they're beauties, aren't they? They're beauties.
Absolute.
Oh man. I will say, when I watch the show, though, I get really hungry for drumsticks.
Sticks are unbelievable. I mean, yeah, I can't blame you. Can't blame you for that.
This is fair. This is fair. I think maybe after this episode, I might have to go and get myself a stick as well, because
Well, we have to decide who gets the show winning stick first. Then you get they get theirs. Then we each get ours. That's the way it works.
This one knows the protocol, so that's great.
Well, he is a bit of a rules lawyer, Keilani. So it's like we do have to kind of like I have to admit I have to follow those sometimes, much to my own chagrin. You know, it's very much like you, Zigwan and Nat's the situation. You know, you guys are, you know, you're doing it, but there's a rules council around you, like telling you guys what to do. Like, and that scene where you guys go to the league office, as it were, and just get slapped down, and just the back and forth. And in that scene is awesome to watch. You know, what was that like? You know, doing like not only that scene, but all the other scenes as well. Like you guys are, it's quite a snappy bit of dialogue you guys are working with.
That was a fun one. That was a really fun one. I think it's really neat to see them build the story, which is, like you said, a male-dominated sport, a male-dominated arena, and have it run by all these women. Not only is it like Nat, Megan, Zeke running the team, but it's these 3 women running the league. And when we go in there, it was delightful because they kind of just like shoot fire at you. And it's the first time that we really have to fight for it. And I know I get to fight for a little less because somehow I'm like the princess child. Yeah. But yeah. I think it's really cute at the end because you see them come full circle, and you know, all of a sudden we're like, this is the cutest slut right here. And it kind of just like you show that like they give each other a hard time, but it's all out of love.
No, totally. And of course, Blair's character got it way worse than yours, as you mentioned. Now, in real life, with you and your sister, is one of you been the favored child in those types of interactions with family members and stuff?
In real life, so I'm the oldest of 2 siblings, and I say we're pretty lucky. Like my mom did an amazing job of keeping things super balanced. There is never really an energy of competition in our family. It's always been super healthy and supportive. So I'm really grateful for that.
That's great. And of course, one of your siblings is a singer. You yourself, of course, a dancer. Then you became a DJ just because you were doing a dance event where they gave you a turntable, and then you kind of fell into acting. It seems like very much like the universe opens up these artistic avenues for you, and you follow the path.
I follow the path and I follow the energy that's around me. I definitely want to shout out my little sister, Kealoha. She is on fire this year. She's releasing single after single with the debut album coming on the way. So y'all better watch for her.
Definitely. And I actually got to check out the 2 videos she's released that you have directed. And so what's it like? So to be able to, like, of course, you've launched your production company, 2 Rivers and a Rose, which, of course, the name right there, it's your name and your heritage there together, correct?
100%. Clearly, Tene is my nation. The people where the 2 rivers flow together. So that's the beginning of my namesake. And then, of course, my last name is Rose, which my little sister so dopely pointed out. She's like, dude, that's awesome. It's like the past tense of rise. And I was like, oh. So, I mean, that's why I used that one.
That's good. So, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a gift to be able to have my first projects be with family. It really brings it back to the roots for me. It really reminds me of where I'm coming from. And a lot of the work that my middle sibling Tiare does is surrounding advocacy for marginalized communities. And so I find a lot of inspiration in those stories when I am going to script for my films. And yeah, just a nice trifecta, just constantly feeding and inspiring each other with what we're all up to.
That's awesome.
No, for sure. You know, it makes me wonder, like, were you guys like always, like the entire family, was it always a very like artistic and like, you know, open kind of situation, or did you guys kind of fall into it on your own? Like it just happened, everybody's involved.
I can proudly say we all got it from our mama when we were super young. It all started with dance, hula specifically. So my mom learned the traditional Hawaiian dances from her dad, and then she taught us when we were little. So then everything kind of just flowed through from dance, because in our heritage, both in Hawaiian and also in Tene, there was never a written language before colonization. Everything was passed on. All the culture, all the history, all the stories was passed on through storytelling, dancing, and chanting. So I feel like understanding that for myself as a human and as an artist, like it just totally makes sense.
Wow.
That's yeah, no, that's awesome. Like it's cool though, like to have that at such an early age, you know, like when I was those ages, I just was like, let me just watch some TV, let's just chill out. I wasn't you know, you had that and it was cultivated at, you know, at such an early age. I think that's amazing.
Thanks to mom.
Yeah, moms are the
That's
best.
that's great. That's fantastic. Totally. Now, of course, with some of the other projects that you're developing, one of them is a web series, Flimsy, correct?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about Flimsy.
Flimsy was born honestly as a survival project during the pandemic. I think a lot of us were going a little nuts, not being able to see each other, not being able to be creative in the ways that normally we have access to. And so a dear friend of mine, Prince Board, who is a Grammy award-winning producer, used to work with the Black Eyed Peas, was like, you know, let's do something fun. And so we just, honestly, we did it for fun. And then it grew to be a lot bigger than we expected. And so then we ended up having this masterpiece that we were really proud of. It was all shot in quarantine in 13 different countries. And we built the scenes and the locations as if we were together. So it was a real big challenge, and we relied heavily on our DP, Tracy Cragen. And yeah, she just worked her magic, and we put, instead of putting a black and white filter on it, we actually put like a pink filter on it. So it you know, it helped us cheat the fact that we weren't all in the same rooms with the exact same lighting. Yeah, it was really, it was good. It was good times. It was a comedy, brought us some laughs. And right now we're just formatting it, deciding how to release it.
Oh, don't see that. Everything you just said really makes me want to see it. I like, that sounds like so creative when, again, having like a situation, and like, this is what the one thing I love about art is that when you're put in a situation where there's tons of restrictions, the creative ways you get out of that box is always the most amazing part for me.
Truly.
Yeah, no, that's great. Now, of course, as I mentioned, we had Blair on the show last week, and we asked her about it. We want to ask you about it as well. The strut, basically that 3-person strut that you guys did with each scene, because it's like I was surprised when I rewatched. I was like, yeah, they strut a lot down every hallway in the show. So, what was it like putting together the look of the strut?
Oh, I mean, I don't think I thought too much about it. It was cool because they actually did, like in the script, they write all the songs. So you already can tell like what the BPM is going to be, what the vibe is going to be, because Jared builds it right in for you. So it kind of gave us a little hint, and then we just went with it. And it definitely felt like we were in our shit, you know. It was like a power go.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, no, you guys are owning it every time. Like that was one of the, again, it goes back to what I was talking about earlier about like seeing, 3, strong, powerful women, throughout the show. It's like scenes like the strut help with that, just like there's no, what you might see in some other shows, right? Like this seems to be like, and that was something I was curious about your experience on set was, was the team like always super behind you guys in what you had to say, for your characters that, because obviously Jared being a man, doesn't always know what, was going through a woman's mind at times, right? Like, were they receptive to your feedback as actors?
I feel like there was a really great balance in terms of honoring the text as written because it is so rhythmical, and also having that room to breathe where if we did come to the table with a suggestion or a collaborative idea, especially with like the 1, 2, 3 like punch thing, he's like, oh, you're right. Yes, let's totally do that. So it was a good balance for sure.
Yeah. So I guess over time of doing it, like doing the scenes and stuff, you kind of felt the rhythm and everything and were able to just start plugging away the comedic without any problem, correct?
Exactly. I mean, we definitely spent a lot of time in rehearsals, in the green room, on set, and like in the hotel rooms on the weekends after work, before work, because there's so much content, and this team works faster than I've ever worked before. It was insane. It was really amazing to be part of, because we're banging out like 26 pages in a day or something like that. And
Oh my
I've
God.
never seen that before. So it was like, we had to be on it, and we definitely like made sure that we showed up tight.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was gonna say
definitely.
like 26 pages in a day. Like that's like a breakneck speed. Like, you know, like I've heard other sets sometimes they're like lucky if they do 1 or 2 pages in a day. Like you're doing 26. Like
Yeah.
did you get time to breathe? Did you have to like go and like shake it off and like do so, you know, like do some stretches afterwards? Like that's a lot.
I will admit that, staying in my body is a way for me to get through. So yeah, that's it. Just pounding the water, doing stretches, getting the fresh air whenever you can.
Exactly. Oh my God. But,
Jacob, though, like the leading us as the director for every single episode, I mean, he just knows it inside out because he's been with them since Letterkenny too. So it's like family, well-oiled machine, and just grateful to be part of it.
yeah, when we had Harlan on, he was mentioning how Jacob is just such a fun director to have because he's able to give you everything you need, but also makes the set a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he brings a certain kind of energy that really just keeps everything moving forward.
That's
That's
awesome.
good.
I'm curious about like what has been your experience with the reactions to the show? Like, has it been like, you know, across the board super positive? You know, like everybody, you know, like I'm thinking like friends and family and stuff like that. You know, because you know, it's always interesting to hear behind the scenes. You know, what you're hearing about the show. Like, was everybody like super impressed with what they were seeing?
Yeah, it was special to get the feedback that I got from certain fans, like online or in person. If I was out in public, I actually got stopped one time at the grocery store, and it was pretty neat. The one that stands out to me is a message I got on Instagram. Someone was saying how they just binge watched all 6 episodes the night before, and they woke up today and they had just this newfound conviction for their day. And they said their 2 mantras for the day are, I'm never losing again. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the second one. But it was just like these 2 powerful one-liners in the show that were just well written and super inspirational, and everyone can relate to them. And it hit home to hear that it resonated so well and with the audience.
That
Yeah,
must be give you a lot of energy and like you know, and happiness to know that you guys are as a group collectively affecting people in such a positive way.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
it's funny. One of the lines of mantras that actually sticks with me from the show is actually a line that your character says, butts and seats. Because that's
Yeah.
my goal always. Even though we're an audio show, I'm always like, we got to get them butts and seats, even if they're seats at home. That's
Yes, 100%, bringing people together.
oh, totally.
Right.
Oh my God. So what's up next for you on the creative? Is there anything you can talk about? I know you have some things you probably can't talk about. Is there anything that's upcoming that you can promote on the show here?
Yes, I believe I'm allowed to let y'all know that SkyMed is dropping on July 10th on CBC and Paramount Plus. I get to make a guest appearance in this series, and it was a character that is super dear to my heart. She is indigenous. I got to learn some language for that role, and just felt super held by the cast and crew when I worked on that. Just got to have a whole ride with her. She's like a little shit disturber at first, and then kind of gets some heartbreaking news and just has to pick up all the pieces. And so I'm really excited for that one to come out, to be able to share it with y'all. Watch out for Trainwreck Tyra. That's all I'll say.
All right, Trainwreck Tyra. That's a name that's intriguing right there. As I want to know what happens to Trainwreck Tyra, definitely. Oh man. But of course, also, I'm very much hoping that Shoresy gets another season, because I definitely want to know what happens between Sanguinet and Miigwan. And of course,
And
also,
State.
yeah, and of course, the Sudbury Blueberry Bulldogs. Definitely want to see what happens with them. Totally in the playoffs. But thank you so much for coming on the program. Hope you have a great evening, and we look forward to more.
Mahalo, Smachalia. Thanks, you too. So great to chat with you today.
So great talking to you. Have yourself a great night.
You too. Bye.